Jeff Hardy was recently
heard about
arrested. Got a DUI. He was drinking and driving again, and it's just
Ubers, man. Ubers. Come on, Ubers.
Really, really sad to see, especially with remember we talked about on the podcast with Jeff leaving WWE, and everyone's like, "Oh, he's drinking," and then he's like, they tested him, everything was fine. I was like, "Dude, you shut WWE up. You're like, look, I'm clean, everything's cool." Now, just a little bit later, you're over in AEW, and boom, you get caught with this. It's really sad to see. It's really upsetting. Jeff has his demons, man.
Hey,
hopefully he comes out on the other end with it. There was
hopefully he gets the help he needs.
Hopefully. There was an art on TMZ. There was a video that showed he was at doing like a little mini concert at a meet and greet with a lot of wrestling legends. While he was doing it, supposedly he was like drinking alcohol while like singing to these people because he is like a singer as well. And he said some lyrics or something where he said, "Whiskey is my best friend and my worst enemy," and did a performance, and that got online. And then shortly after that, he got arrested for the DUI. And apparently his brother Matt was there as well during the singing of that song. Another one we got is there's a wrestling legend known by the Great Muta from Japan. Real name Keiji Muto, and he just revealed that he's going to be retiring. Man's been around for forever. Eslam, I'm sure you don't know it, but we actually got to see him wrestle in New York, which is a huge deal. I always bring back the fact that you got to see one of the biggest wrestling events in history, and you don't even realize it, and it upsets me. Like, you do realize it, but it's like...
it's wasted.
I don't know the weight of it. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, it was... Yeah. Oh, my God. Every time I think about it, I was like, that's such a fucking huge event. So he announced that...
thank you for making me a part of that.
No, absolutely. Thank you for coming. And you thought I was going to make an insulting joke there, didn't you? And
I did not.
It's like I should have brought my dad.
Glad you didn't.
Yeah. So he announced it at Cyberfest Festival, which was a joint show between Pro Wrestling Noah, DDT, and Tokyo Joshi Pro. He announced he's going to do that. He's going to retire next spring, and he's going to have 5 more matches before his retirement. So good to see Keiji Muto running off to the sunset, and I mean he's brought entertainment to many people for many years. Another story I want to mention is Sasha Banks. A little while ago, talked about Sasha Banks and Naomi, dropped off the WWE Tag Team titles. They walked off on Raw. WWE's like, okay, we're going to suspend you, blah, blah, blah. A lot of rumors are coming out that she might actually have gotten released by WWE. It might have actually happened. So there's no confirmations yet, but apparently lawyers of hers are looking into trying to get this pushed through. Like, she wants to be released. So don't be surprised if that's going to come up in another... wrestling news segment of PowerBomb Weekly, where I'm just like, yeah, Sasha Banks is officially gone. Yeah. So there's that. And speaking of releases, WWE has gone and tried and successfully released many wrestlers and many employees, and now they might be trying to release Vince McMahon. So WWE reports have been coming out that for the past 2 days, there's just so much involving Vince McMahon where apparently there was some type of what's the word I'm looking for? When you sleep behind a spouse behind their back.
An affair?
And there was an affair. Thank you. There was an affair with an ex-WWE employee. We don't know who it was that Vince supposedly was involved with. And they mentioned the fact that she was getting paid a certain amount. This affair started happening, and she started getting paid significantly more. And there was a settlement that they made where she was not allowed to speak about it or whatever. Vince McMahon paid her off. What was it? Off the top of my head, it was $3 million, right? Mm. Yeah, he paid her $3 million, and supposedly that was the end of it. And supposedly another article came out that she was passed along, quote unquote, like a toy to John Laurinaitis, who's another major head in WWE. So we don't know who this woman is. She's not allowed to talk about it. We don't know where exactly this information came from, but the only people that were made aware of this were on the WWE Board of Directors, which is like 12 people. 3 of them being Vince McMahon, Stephanie McMahon, Triple H. Now, the interesting about this is something that's been internal that WWE has known about for a little bit now. The Board of Directors has known about this for some time. And remember, not too long ago, I talked about Stephanie McMahon wanting to leave WWE. So since she left, there have been different reports, some stating that she like they were trying to like bury her after the fact, where like they were saying she left because she couldn't do her job. Some people stated that was Vince McMahon himself saying that about Stephanie, and other people saying no, she just wanted to focus on family. We don't know what the details is. So now people are starting to speculate: did she leave because she knew this was going to become about in the public soon? So that's something that people look into, because it's like the timing is just right there, you know. And with that going on, now there's another report that came out today that states that there might be. They're investigating whether certain directors and officers of World Wrestling Entertainment have breached their fiduciary duties to WWE and its shareholders. Don't know the full details of that yet, but there might, like Eslam, you and I were talking about this before we started recording, there, who knows if there's some possibility of insider trading or something that involves the stocks within WWE.
Yeah.
But there is a law firm that is currently investigating that, and that is separate from the whole Vince McMahon having an affair with an ex-employee. And there's that. And there's been a lot of stories over the years between Vince McMahon and WWE stuff. I'm sure you guys have heard some. I'm sure everybody's heard different things that have gone on. So this is what's going on in the world of WWE right now. So we'll see what happens. And then to move on to more
dick in your pants.
Yeah, pretty much. Lil Vinnie Mac, got to keep it in there. And I want to move on to some fun, non-affair speculation and investigation stuff. For AEW, for the interim world title, it looks like it's going to be Jon Moxley versus Tanahashi. It's official. They're going to fight one another. Also, I want to talk about Jay White has defeated Kazuchika Okada and become the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. So he's the champ now. He's either going to be fighting against Hangman Adam Page, maybe Adam Cole, maybe both at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. We'll find out soon, but that's looking like it's going to end up being a really, really cool, badass pay-per-view. Also, Randy Orton has a fucked up back. He might be out for a year.
Goddamn.
So, yeah, it was a lot of wrestling. A lot of wrestling.
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't just a lot. It was just intense, too, like all the shit that's happening with McMahon. And
oh, yeah.
It's crazy how everybody's getting laid off, and now he's about to be like on the chopping block. Who's going to run it?
Well, and that's the thing. Remember, I've mentioned a lot on the podcast. There's this Nick Khan guy who keeps on getting more and more responsibility. He's on that board of directors, too. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised if some story, somebody somewhere comes out and they're like, Nick Khan is the one who's doing all this to take Vince's spot now. Like, who knows? Like
the scenes.
Yeah. Of course, we're not saying that, but I wouldn't be surprised if somebody starts, you know, trying to make that fact. But, you know, we'll find out.
Speculation.
Yeah, we'll find out in the upcoming weeks, I guess.
It's always fun for us to, ponder.